Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about the wild rumors about Yannick Ngakoue being traded to the New York Jets. But before we get started, I just wanted to mention that you can follow me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY. Also, if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe to the podcast. New episodes come out every Monday. If you haven't subscribed to the Patreon and you're interested, check it out. Link down below. I'll link it in the description and the pinned comment as well. A subscription-based service from me where, well, you'll be getting a ton of different content from me, so definitely check it out if you are interested. Now let's get into the video about Yannick Ngakoue, who, let's face it, is not going to be playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars, or I would be very surprised if he is playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars this year. He has made it very clear that he does not want to sign long-term there, so they should trade him as he's on the franchise tag, set to make like $17.7 or $17.8 million for this year. So here's the timeline. First, Mike Lombardi comes out and he's saying that he's been hearing from an NFL source that Yannick is going to be traded either today or tomorrow. Doesn't give any team names, doesn't really give anything specific. But then, next tweet after that, a little while later comes out and says that this isn't fake news, that the Jets are one of the teams that is trying. He's not saying that's going to happen, but they are interested in Yannick Ngakoue. Now, Manish Mehta, who definitely is not a reliable source, has come out and said that's not true. So at that point, who are you going to believe? Lombardi or Mehta? That's the conversation that Jets fans are having with themselves. It's just a rumor right now. It seems like it is nothing more than just a rumor for right now, but let's talk about it and what that would mean for the New York Jets. So since he is on that franchise tag and the deadline for an extension has passed, he would not be able to sign a long-term deal with the Jets until after this year, so it would certainly be a risk if you are giving up assets to acquire a player on an expiring contract. But when you look at his production since joining the league, it's easy to see why the Jets might be interested. He had 8 sacks last year, 9.5 the year before that, 12 the year prior, and 8 in his rookie year. His floor is 8 sacks, which right now their best edge rusher, the Jets' best edge rusher, is Jordan Jenkins, who is probably more of a Calvin Pace, Brian Thomas-like edge setter. But the floor is 8 sacks for Ngakoue, while the ceiling for seemingly Jordan Jenkins in sacks is probably about 8. I don't ever see him going close to double-digit sacks. In his 4 years in the league, Ngakoue's Pro Football Focus grades are as followed. A 72 overall last year, 72.7 the year prior, 87.3. His best was in his sophomore year, and in his rookie season, 52.3. So obviously he progressed from his rookie year and has been okay the last 2 years. I mean, if he's someone who is giving you 8, 9.5 sacks over, a 2-year period, I think you're in pretty good shape, especially with everything he could do on the field. He adds an extra presence that the Jets really haven't had consistently, at least, since John Abraham. The Jets traded John Abraham away after the 2005 season. Is what helped them draft, obviously, have 2 first-round draft picks in the 2006 draft. But something that I found interesting was the Jets never really went about replacing him. So what I wanted to do is go through the sack leaders in reverse order to 2006, which was the season in which the Jets were without John Abraham the last time they had a good edge rusher. So Jordan Jenkins led the way last year with 8 sacks. Year prior, Jenkins and Anderson were tied with 7 sacks for the lead. Demario Davis led the way with 5 sacks in 2017. Gross. Leonard Williams in 2016 with 7. Double digits, Mo Wilkerson in 2015 with 12. Sheldon Richardson in 2014 with 8. 2013, Mo Wilk, 10.5. Quentin Coples in 2012, gross, 5.5 sacks. 2011, Aaron Maben, that was an edge rusher, 6 sacks. He wasn't someone who played on the field, though. He was like a specialist. 6 sacks there. A year prior in 2010 was Brian Thomas with 6. 2009 was Calvin Pace with 8. Then Sean Ellis with 8. Then David Harris with 5. And Brian Thomas in 2006 with 8.5 sacks. So, the floor for Yannick Ngakoue, 8 sacks, would have led the team or have been tied for the team lead in sacks in 9 of those 14 seasons since moving on from John Abraham. Now, I think that we can all agree that Yannick would be the best edge rusher the Jets have had since then, and it's definitely, like we said, it's been a position of need for 15 years. So if these rumors are true, it's definitely something to be excited about. Now, I don't necessarily think that it is going to take a first round pick in order to trade for him at this point. There was a rumor on Twitter, I'm not buying it, but it was a rumor on Twitter that the Jets would be giving up 2 third-rounders. I also saw a second and a fourth. I think a second and fourth is probably pretty realistic. I would do that, even though Yannick Ngakoue cannot be extended right now. You are trading for a guy who just turned 25 years old, is just now entering the prime of his career, and his floor is 8 sacks. Sign me up for Yannick Ngakoue. It would make the Jets defense significantly better, and it's at a position of need. Not only is it a position of need, but it is a premium position. Put assets into premium positions. I would be for it. Let's see if Joe Douglas does it. Let me know in the comments down below if you would think that Joe Douglas does this, or do you want this to happen for the New York Jets? Please let me know. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Once again, I'm Matt O'Leary. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll talk to you next time.